get comfortable.
All right. Bobbi has to get comfortable, and I have to welcome everybody to Two Fat Dads, the immensely popular podcast featuring. Why are you laughing? Hey, I started a Two Fat Dads podcast page today, and we're up to 96 members.
I saw that, and I want to say first, I noticed that the picture is Bobbi with you right behind her. I'm not in it, and I think from a marketing point of view, that is brilliant.
Right. Well, Bobbi was like, "Why did you put me in the picture?" I'm like, "Well, I don't have any of Steve and Bobbi's. This is her second appearance."
Oh, this is her third.
I was going to say 3.
Wow. See,
So
I
now
can't even,
Tony, he
I
can't
even
read
keep
or
track.
count.
I can't even keep track.
One of the things about Tony, besides not being able to read or count, is that you may notice that he has been exceptionally righteous lately, and he has an aura, an angelic halo around him.
No.
He does.
That
Let's
is
see
the
it.
spirit.
Orange. Can you guys see that I'm orange?
Do you have a self tanner?
No. No, it's my camera. I don't know. The girls got on my computer and they've just screwed up all the settings. Everything's just jacked, and I don't know. I can't get it back to where it was.
This is why we say in the mental health business that children make everything worse.
Children make everything worse.
No, I think it actually makes you look better.
Well, again, that his righteousness flows.
All right.
It's
This
like
is great.
beaming, like I'm feeling hot. I'm getting all sweaty and hot from it.
That's the effect I have on all women,
Yes.
including
Apparently.
Steve's mom.
I actually did want to say that from this point forward, I feel that all of our podcasts should just be pictures of Bobbi. That's it.
That's
I
it.
mean, I have some really good ones that can send.
Yeah, that's all we're gonna do now. That's gonna be the hook. Is all of the thumbnails are just gonna be hot people.
Yep.
Like
Sweet.
Shane's podcast. I mean, that skyrocketed.
That's a good looking boy right there.
It's one
Like,
handsome
why
dude.
was I never told about Shane? That's what I want to know.
You were. You were. And you missed an opportunity to meet him.
I did. Dang
Because
running.
you have to run all the time.
I know.
What's up with that? Why do you run all the time?
Well, it's either that or do heroin.
That's her famous answer every time. Bobbi, why do you run so much? So I don't do drugs. Wow. See, every time I speak, there's silence afterwards. You guys have to pick up where I leave off.
Oh,
I was actually gonna laugh, but I didn't because I
you're-
like your silences.
well, I was going to say, I just didn't think you were done yet.
Oh, should I just say Roger or over or something, just like on a CB?
You could just say something funny, and if you ended with that, then we would know it was time to go on.
I need a laugh track.
Oh, that's right. That's what you need, your personal laugh
too.
track.
I really. Oh, okay. Before we get into things, you heard my exciting news today, right? It's still something we have to discuss, but we might actually get some production value into this podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bobbi.
We're not being productive already.
No, production, like
Oh,
no, like a better set, more attractive hosts, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if we can find people more attractive than you and I, Steve.
I mean,
feel
I'm
like we
here,
could.
but
All right.
All right. So, Tony, how's your day? Other than the extent that, how are things going?
How are things going? That's a big question, man. Good. People just say
Okay,
good
that's
when
a big answer.
a lot of things are going on. A lot of things are going on. Stuff I can't talk about right now, but I do have a lot on my plate. And Steve leaves. Did you actually? I think I saw a little bit of butt crack when he left.
I wasn't looking.
Oh, I was looking.
I do not
Now-
believe that you did.
Now let me guess.
'cause
That's
my shirt is tucked in.
That is the boy dog. That is he's the name of a prophet. Benson? No. Oh, why don't I know that dog's name?
Well, you're right on track, though.
It's definitely the boy.
It
I
is
don't
the boy
remember.
dog. He is 14. His name is Kimball,
And
he is being naughty.
Okay.
So I had to pick him up.
Well, he's allowed to at 14, right?
At this point, he's kind of like an old man where he's just angry and grumpy. And
Hey, Bobby, how old can a man be before he starts telling younger women sweetie and honey?
in his 20s,
I don't think there's
right?
an age limit.
No, I'm saying
I grew
at
up in
what
Texas,
age?
though.
At what age does it start? Like, how old do you have to be before the age gap is great enough between you and a younger woman where a guy can say sweetie or honey to them?
I can say sweetie or honey to my daughter's friends.
I think any age.
All right,
I
sweetie.
wouldn't feel like that was creepy. I guess it depends on how you said it, Tony.
Okay, honey.
Come on, baby.
Bruh.
All right, Bobby. How's your day going?
You already know. I'm not telling you about my day on public broadcast.
Okay. Wow.
You know about my day. It was terrible.
You didn't go into extreme specifics, but that's okay. You don't have to. You can just lie like me and say, good. It's going good.
Oh, it's been fantastic. I get tomorrow off.
That's right. Are you going to come see me?
You want me to? I'm going to get Paisley Saturday.
When is she going to get her toy?
Saturday.
Sweet.
Yeah. I bought this really big, huge bike seat to put on the back of my bike so I can take her mountain biking with me. And I'm so nervous.
It's like taking a child on a motorcycle.
I mean, she's like 60 pounds. So it's not just like a normal little tiny kid seat.
Little.
It's like an adult seat that I had to get to put on the back of the bike. But I want her to experience riding a bike through the woods.
Yeah,
so.
It's really amazing. So
I have Tony, really quick. I have a basket on the front of my bike that I put my dog in.
Aww.
Why did I think Wizard of Oz? I instantly thought Wizard of Oz.
No, Charlie. Well, I will tell you, that's the greatest thing ever.
You probably terrorize your conservative neighborhood with all your Black Lives Matters t-shirts.
Oh no, it's not like that here. If every third door is like all life, Black Lives Matter, love is love, women are people too.
My neighbors, we have a porch, right? And my neighbors here, they have, a pride flag, they have probably a Black Lives, they had all these different flags. And they're just told that it was against city ordinances, and it didn't really look good, so they had to remove them.
Really?
That's quite a town you have there.
Yeah, quite a town.
Do they pass out free white hooded sheets for everyone?
Right.
And it's so tiny too. It's
I was surprised. I'd had to bring up the text that we got from the landlord to really read it, and I knew what they were trying to say, and it's just bad. Anyways, so this is kind of we have a podcast, like a spoiler alert here. We have a podcast coming up tomorrow, which is going to feature Bobbi again for the fourth time.
Maybe I'll be in a dress.
Maybe dress up a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, we'll probably stagger releasing these. I don't think we should release 2 in days.
Oh no, we're not going to release them back to back, but it is I'm just giving a little preview. It's gonna be pretty exciting. One of Bobbi's favorite topics is crime and dead bodies.
Dead bodies.
That's the teaser. That's all I'm gonna say. But today's episode is gonna be kind of a neat little thing we're doing. You want to talk about it, Steve?
Yes, I had an experience. Hold on, I'm gonna put my guy down.
Pause. Just throw the 14-year-old dog across.
No, he's I put him on the bed right behind me. So I had an experience, and this is I'm just going to say that, unfortunately, from my point of view, this has happened a number of times. When you are a person of a certain size, people, I'm just going to say what happened, and then we can talk about it. So I was out walking my dog, and I realized that I had a virtual court appointment, meaning that we were going to go to court and I had to talk about a client. And so I stopped. And it's just, it's kind of a paved, I guess, kind of path around the park. I mean, it wasn't anything, it was very flat. It was, and so I'm sitting there on the side looking at my phone with my earbud in listening, and I've got my dog on my lap, and a woman came up and she got my attention and said, "Sir, are you okay?" And I go, I'm sorry. And she goes, "Do you need any help? Do you need anything?" And I said, "I'm fine, thank you." And unfortunately, that happens to me a lot.
Like you looked winded or having a heart attack, or?
Well, like one time I just, my back, I'd been walking and my, because I actually am, every fat person says this, but I'm actually pretty physically active, especially during the summer. And, my back was kind of tight. And so I kind of leaned over and I was stretching out my back. And the woman asked me if we needed to call 911.
Oh my
a
gosh.
woman I don't know walking by, and one time this is when Charlie, my dog, was still a puppy, and we were walking. It was a pretty warm day. And, he was getting pretty tired. Now I felt fine. And I had this little water bottle, pouch for him to drink out of. So I'm sitting there again on the grass, letting him drink from this pouch. And a woman comes up. We were near Indiana State University, and I'm guessing a co-ed came up and said, "Do you need anything? Do you need me to call anyone for you?" And I'm at the point where, because at that, I try not to be frustrated, because I get that at some point somebody might actually be sick. But today, I think I would rather just die than have somebody come up and ask me again how, if I was struggling, or, if I needed an ambulance. That happens now. That happens often. Like that happens. I will say this, that happens about half the time when I'm out exercising. There you go.
Silence.
So I thought about it. The biggest challenge I have with losing weight is that my wife is really into me. And it's really hard to get motivated to give up the stuff you like to do, when your wife can't keep her hands off you.
There's a comfort in it. There's a comfort in marriage. Love is acceptance.
Isn't there also just, there's no motivation. I mean, she said stuff like, "Oh my God, you're heavy. Are we buying you an even bigger shirt?" That kind of thing. We might say, "Well, all right, I got to address this in some way." I'm sorry.
Isn't there a study, something like if it's like the sign of a really good marriage that they're both partners are low overweight? I don't know.
No idea.
I've read that before. I've seen it a few times. It popped up on Facebook a few times. I think it's true.
One of the things that I notice is that people who are my age and are in good shape tend to really enjoy talking about how good a shape they're in. And it's like I was on this.
Bobby's dying.
I was in this marriage group, and this woman was saying, "Oh, I'm so glad my husband and I are both really fit." And, and I just got tired of, because I know it's just a stupid Facebook group, but I'm reading it. And I said, I feel the same way about having lots of money and a lot of education. And I feel that way about, being really, really smart, but your being physically fit is good for you too.
You read a lot of books. You flex on that all the time.
I do, but maybe it's the same thing. I don't know. But so I came up with this idea, and Bobbi got very excited about it. And Tony, I don't know what your thoughts were on it, really.
Very unmotivated.
Very unmotivated to
That's not true.
In the Not So Fat Dad Challenge.
The Two Not So Fat Dad podcast.
Well, I think we have to, thing is, Tony, like, you call yourself a fat dad, but you're not that heavy.
I am heavy. How much do you think I weigh?
I know.
425.
5. You're such a jerk.
So close.
No, I don't have
So
any idea.
close.
200 pounds.
Oh my gosh, no.
Well,
No,
you
that's
have to
kind of
say-
so
I'm not
can I
going to
give
say.
what?
I'm not saying on this podcast how much I weigh or what my measurements are.
Well, can I I'll give a little bit of history with my health. Just a tiny bit when it comes so one thing you pick up on really quickly when you're in the dating world is there is a big focus on fitness. I would call it the new religion by far. You run across profile after profile to profile that says basically, if you're not physically fit and you're not active, don't swipe on me, just pass me by, right? And I was like, wow, you see it a lot. And of course, I've always wanted to get fit. Like as soon as I was divorced, I lost a bunch of weight. Part of that was depression, like deep, deep, dark depression, which is, the divorce diet. Like it's just easy. The pounds are just falling off of me. But I was, doing some physical activity. Anyways, long story short, I've got a bad back. I've got thinning discs. I've got bulging discs. I've got bone spurs up and down my back. And then I've also what's really taken me down is bone spurs in my heels. And it becomes very painful to walk, especially, running is just almost impossible sometimes. So I had lost a bunch of weight. When I first got divorced, I was like 265 or so. And then I got down to 212 pounds. And now I'm back up to 265. That's the long and short. And the reason why I'm back up again is because I've developed 2 new bone spurs in my ankles from all the exercise. So
Really, from all the exercise?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, I'm gonna kind of just forget about trying to run. Biking is best when we're talking about stuff like that, but I can do weights, I can do all different kinds of things, but yeah, I can't run. So
sometimes I've gone onto those singles eHarmony or whatever, Plenty of Fish, just to look at what some of the
you have.
Oh yeah, of course. Just like I've never signed up, but
Well,
just curiosity.
Well, you were, when I was going through this, you're I was going to say you're living vicariously through me, but that's not really true. But I would contact you and say, look at his profile, Steve.
Right.
Like, what do you think about this?
And and like I would go on the back page and send you advertisements for various prostitutes.
Very bad.
As it's kind of a help. I would say, Tony, I think you might,
No, it was vicariously living through me. You wanted me to do it and then tell you every single detail afterwards. And I was like,
that's right. That's right. So anyway, but like I go on there and I see these and they say, the first thing they say is, my children are my world.
Oh, I hate that. Oh.
And then they say, I love to, and they just list this thing and it's like all doing stuff. And I'm like, my God, don't any of these people just like to watch TV or read?
No.
Like just relax in the living room. I have a really comfortable chair I enjoy sitting in.
So my kids are my world. That's a really popular one. Surprisingly, and I'm curious about Bobbi.
Hold on, one more thing though, because the other one I read a lot is I honestly, I don't think I've looked at this in a couple of years, but when I have looked at it, they say, now, if you want sex, don't look at me.
Yeah.
I'm not here to hook up
no
at
hookups.
all.
Saying no hookups is a big one, even on like Tinder, which is an app that was designed to hook up.
And I feel like these ads, again, I'm not hunting, but I'm thinking like, my gosh, all of these people seem so unappealing.
It's very unappealing.
Yeah.
So you get to the point where you see that so often and how like messed up it all is. And then when you finally run across a normal one, it's like so refreshing to see someone just be jokey and like not really take it too seriously. And you're like, oh, wow. But my curiosity with Bobbi is, so on the women's side, what Steve said is true, and you probably see some of that on the guy side, maybe in a little bit different way. But I'm curious, on the women's side, I see a lot of, I own my own home, I own my own car, I'm independent, financially independent, and sometimes they'll say, and you should be too. But they really advertise, that their house is paid off, this is paid off and that's paid off. And I'm curious if guys do the same thing.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of not looking for anything serious. I see a lot of that. But honestly, I'm not on dating apps much. Like, I'll reactivate one, I'll pay for a whole month because I'm dumb, but I'll be on it for literally 24 hours and then I'll get rid of it again.
Steve, we've decided we're going to do a game with Bobbi, like not a game, but it's going to be like a segment, right? Where she's going to share her screen and you and I are going to respond to all of her matches and all of her messages.
I would love that. And then will you go on the dates for me too? Because I don't have time.
She hates like the small talk. She hates the banter. She hates like the beginning. She wants to get into the meat of the relationship.
Sure. I can relate to that. I can relate to that back when I was single. At least I wasn't very good at tell me about your family. Tell me. I didn't care about any of that.
What's your favorite color?
Well, for me, the hard thing for me is like, I feel like it's going really well. And then they're gone. And I'm like, what happened? Like, I don't have time to restart again.
Yeah. The one I don't get is, and maybe because I've brought this up before, Tony, and you say it's necessary, but I really do not understand like rehashing your entire history of every relationship.
But you understand it. You already answered it. Like you answered it in the podcast. If you're too secretive, you don't share enough, then you're hiding something. It just does not look good. You have to be kind of open, to it's okay. So one thing I kind of wanted to correct about last podcast was I was joking about the 5-year plan. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Right.
Sure.
Because it is a good question, but it's all about timing. If I get that question, like within the first, 30 minutes or even first day, I'm just annoyed by it. I mean, what does it mean? Like my personal goals and where I'm going to be in 5 years. How does that, am I supposed to say, oh, in bed with you? Because that's kind of my answer. That's what usually stuff I say, because it's just that's so personal. Like, no, it says nothing about me.
I just want to make a series of videos where I can be like, week 1, okay, we've made it. Here, watch this one. Week 2, okay, watch this one. Week 3, watch this one. Okay.
Bobbi, have you not like seen a little bit of success from like you being able to share your podcast episode with us?
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic, but I'm still, I don't know. I'm just at this point in my life, even thinking about dating makes me want to throw up.
Oh, man, I'm right there with you.
Like my youngest daughter, who's 22, 23, I don't know how old she is. She's every time I see her, she's like, Mom, are you ready to date a woman? Because men suck. And I'm like, you know what? One more bad relationship with a man, and I think I might just be there.
So is your daughter lesbian?
No.
Oh, because I was going to say, okay.
She's just
my
suggesting,
son is 22. We should introduce them to each other.
Bobbi, what did you think about the one profile I sent you?
She seems like she would be a fantastic friend.
This gorgeous woman, this gorgeous woman.
I didn't even look at her picture. I was just reading it.
Well, in her profile, like she ends her profile with saying that she's like way into murder and like serial killers and dead bodies. And I'm like, whoa, Bobbi is going to love this woman.
I had a little bit of crush, but I didn't do anything with it.
So, with all of that being said, we are going to end it. Like I said, we're going to, my thing isn't as dramatic as Tony's as far as like, the up and down and such. The truth is that I was extremely physically active in college. I lifted, and I was in very good shape. I was still probably about 30 pounds overweight, but I was, I was muscular and had very good endurance. And, I was And then I graduated, and then I had to work a couple of jobs, and I switched to the more of a fast food centered diet. And every year, I gained another, 5 to 15 pounds, depending on what happened. And I did have a foot injury, and I gained 40 pounds over that period of time. But that's the only time where it was like a lot of weight gain in one small time period. Everything else was just, a few pounds a year. And it just adds up.
So how are we going to do this? Because first of all, doing this and making it so public, it's extremely motivating. Right.
Okay, so can I cut you off, Tony?
What's that?
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so I like that Steve just said that he basically was gaining weight very slowly, right?
Yeah, it was
so
awesome.
That's how you're gonna, right? No, that's not awesome. That's not. My point is I used to be really heavy too. Like I lost over 100 pounds. You have babies, whatever. You eat whatever, and then so anyways, I've been there. I know what it's like. Losing weight, wanting to lose weight sucks, right? But losing weight is going to be very slow. It's a very slow process.
Bobbi, I was
no
joking.
matter what Tony thinks.
Bobbi, I was joking. She asked me what my goals were, and it was just this ridiculous thing that I threw out.
What was
62 pounds in less than 2 months.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, of course I'd love to lose like that, but
it is. It's crazy to me how easy it is to gain weight and how hard it is to lose weight.
But it's not that hard though.
To which one? To gain weight?
To lose weight. There's just a couple things you can change in your daily life.
Exercise.
To where no, I'm not even going to talk about exercise, actually.
Starving yourself.
No, I'm not going to talk about. Listen,
water and crackers.
I'm not going to tell you to forget to eat. Is this? Are we going to just guess, or do you want me to?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm ready.
She's getting annoyed with me.
Who's annoyed with you? Oh, Bobbi is.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yes.
Okay, so. Do you know how much of a deficit you have to be in every day to lose 2 pounds a week? Because I think 2 pounds a week is a good goal, right?
Well, no, I know this. Like it's 1,000 calorie day deficit.
Okay, so there's a couple different ways you can get a deficit, right? The most important way right now would be through not eating 1,000 calories.
Sure,
vacuuming the fat out of my body.
So I don't know if you guys know how much you eat a day. I obsessively know what I eat every single day.
Unfortunately,
because I eat the same thing.
I tell her how to feel every day.
I'm well aware of how much I eat a day.
Okay, so 1,000 calories to cut out of your diet a day really isn't that much, right?
It's like a happy meal.
So for my homework for this week, because I love homework because I'm such a nerd, is that I really just want you guys to pay attention to what you're eating, everything. Like even ketchup, because I know ketchup goes on everything. I don't eat ketchup anymore. I transitioned to mustard because mustard is healthier and it tastes better, right?
Never. Is this the mustard diet? I'm not going to do it if it's the mustard diet.
No, that was just for an example. But so just pay attention to what you're eating, because a lot of times we eat what I call non-essentials, and we're adding a ton of calories in per day, and we don't realize we are. Right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so just pay attention to what you're eating, and then see what you cannot eat when you go to make a meal. Like, gotcha. What can you use instead of this in portion sizes? Because as Americans, we have those all messed up anyways.
My son, after he came out, he was feeling much better about himself. So he decided he wanted to lose some weight, and he started, and it's funny because I'm in the doctor's office with him for his annual physical. And the doctor says, "So how much have you lost?" He said, "I've lost 90 pounds." Because he's very skinny now, but I mean, he eats, and she goes, "How did you do that?" And he said, "Well, I just started really paying attention to how I felt. And as soon as I was full, I stopped eating. And I had this immediate reaction that I wanted to punch him. Like that. I don't know why that was so.
Doesn't it take your body like 10, 20 minutes to realize it's full?
Maybe. I mean, I've heard that.
Well,
Is
I
it
guess
also
it
true
depends.
that your body doesn't really, like, sometimes your hunger, you feel hungry, but you're actually thirsty because the feelings mimic each other?
So that's true. A lot of times people are dehydrated, and the sign that you're dehydrated is you're hungry. When you fast, right? You
What's
know what a
fasting?
real hunger pain. You know what a real hunger pain is. Do you really feel that on a daily basis? No, you don't
I
feel
feel
that on a
weird
daily
hunger pain
basis.
sometimes. It's really odd.
You feel
That's
what?
probably like a glucose drop. That's what
I've
you're
felt
feeling.
different types of hunger pain, more so lately. Haven't I told you, Bobbi, there's some days where I just cannot feel like I'm hungry, like just insatiably hungry. And no matter what I eat, I just do not feel full.
Hmm.
Do you remember a few of those days that I told you about?
Hmm.
It's probably on my man period.
I think
My
that's what I
period.
always say when you tell me.
Yeah, I know. Whenever
But
I share my feelings, she's like, "Are you on your period?"
okay, but feeling full and being hungry or not hungry, those are two different things though,
All right, so
right?
let me bring this up
Yeah.
because the last time that I had some really, really, really successful weight loss was when I was doing the gallon challenge. I was drinking a gallon of water every day.
The thing is, I actually already drink a lot of water.
Measure it though. You know
Okay,
exactly.
do you want to know how much you're supposed to drink in a day?
There's a calculation, right?
Yes. So
Sure
you
there
take your
is.
body weight and you divide it in half. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you're going to drink 100 ounces of water.
Okay.
So you just take your body weight and divide it in half, and that's how many ounces you need to drink a day. That's what your body needs.
And a gallon is 128. Is that right?
I have no idea. I don't
I
drink
think
out
it
of a
is.
gallon jug.
I think it is. Yeah.
All right.
So Tony, actually for you, that would be right on, right about a gallon.
Right. Yeah. So all I'm saying is that really, 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 really worked for me.
Mhm.
It just started falling. The weight just started falling off. I was losing probably around 10 to 15 pounds a week. I know you don't believe it, Bobbi, but I was.
Well, anytime anybody first starts losing weight, the
Oh, that was first. Yeah.
month you lose a lot of
Sure.
weight, but
So
it's not weight you're losing. It's like your bowels are going quicker.
right.
You're losing water weight, things like that. So you're not actually losing weight like fat.
Right. I start hitting a wall around 220-ish, 220, 225-ish, and I just hit this wall. And no matter what I do dieting wise, it's not going to do anything. And that's when you have to start really kicking in on exercise.
Yes.
Actually that hasn't happened to me for a long time, but that was my wall too. I got down to 220. And again, in college, I was lifting and I was running and, doing lots of stuff. And so I looked really good, but I still had, like love handles and,
How much
little
did you
love
weigh at
handles.
like 18? Because you're like 5'10", right?
Oh gosh. At my start of my mission, I weighed 275. And at the end of my mission, I weighed 220.
Okay.
And I lost all of that in the second year. And really, I just developed one rule because, of course, we didn't have any money, so we couldn't afford to go out.
Oh my
We had
goodness.
member meals every night, and I just said, I'm gonna have one plate of food.
Do you know how much money Cohen gets on his mission?
How much?
He's in California. He gets $93 every 2 weeks. $93 every 2 weeks.
I mean, I would guess in California they get a lot of member meals.
They're not allowed to anymore. Remember that you have to have it has to be like part member or non-member. Yeah. It's all changed.
It's not worth bringing up, but I get confused when people purposely make things much, much worse.
Right. Right. Well, I'm excited. You know, it might not seem like it, but I actually am excited. And Steve was saying he doesn't want to really talk about his weight. I'm pretty open to it. I weighed myself this morning at 265 pounds.
So, Bobbi, can I ask you a question? Because one of the things that probably about the only thing that has had any work for me that and I admittedly haven't tried much, but what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
Oh, yes.
I do them often. I do that often. I love it.
So the intermittent fasting, I'm sure people know what this is, but just in case they don't, you don't eat until say noon, and then depending on how long you've committed to this window to eat, you finish eating at 6 or 4 or whatever time. You don't eat outside of that.
So a lot of times athletes will do OMADs. So it's one meal a day, and they'll eat all of their calories in one meal. I don't do that often because of my schedule. I work out in the morning, I work out at lunchtime, and then I also work out at night. So on the days that I know I'm not going to be doing
look at Steve's face.
just,
say that one more time so that Steve can process it.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
So on the days that I'm not going to be doing that, I will do like a 16-hour fast. And if I time it just right, I will run on a fasting state so I can end it around noon and then eat. And then I'll just eat normal for the rest of the week. I'll just cycle in like a 24-hour period every couple weeks, just depending on what I'm doing exercise wise, because I tend to get in trouble because I typically forget to eat a lot anyways on a normal day.
Don't have that.
But problem. It's really good. It's really good though, especially at the beginning of a weight loss. I wasn't going to say anything about it today because a lot of people freak out about fasting. It really is no big deal. I mean, you're sleeping most of the time anyways, and you just get up and, go into lunch. Well, so it's not that big of a deal to do a 16-hour fast, especially if you're used to doing a 24-hour fast once a month.
Right.
And during like intermittent fasting, you can drink liquids. You just don't take in anything with calories.
So Steve, Bobbi is big in keto, and I've heard of keto, and it was keto this, and Bobbi just keto just constantly talking about keto, and I didn't know what it was. I never asked her because I was just I don't know, being shy about it. And then I went and bought her keto snacks one time, and I finally dawned on me what keto was. It's expensive white girl food. That's what keto is.
Well, I mean, I don't have any
like
problem
$80 and I only filled one bag.
Bag. I mean, my challenge with keto, which of course I've looked at, listen, every really fat person knows everything there is to know about losing weight. Every fat person has.
If I had $5 every time Steve told me that he's going to lose 30 pounds by doing something, I'd be very rich right now.
Well, at least be able to buy a nice jacket for sure.
Yes.
Anyway, but the thing about keto is that it really is, so it's very time consuming, and there just seemed like everything I looked at would violate some core principle in it. Like don't eat this. I don't know. Like it was here's the thing. Like my wife and I, we fondly talk about the day, there are 3 to 5 years where we don't ever have to cook again.
Right.
Because neither of us, we both hate cooking, and the only reason our kitchen gets used is because our children insist on it.
The lottery, the Mega Millions or whatever, is like $1 billion jackpot right now, right?
Oh, is it?
It's like $1.2 billion or something. When I think about stuff like that, my first thought is like, I'm getting my own nutritionist. I'm getting my own personal cook. And then
that's me.
Oh, you mean hire you?
Yeah, we're gonna get a crime ban, and I will.
That is true, Steve. Just so you know that this podcast might not always stay two fat dads. One, we're gonna lose weight, but then 2, Bobbi and I might go out on the road and just solve crimes.
No, if we turn 50, we are getting married and we are going
That's
on the road and we are going to be solving crimes.
Steve, Steve, he has to be brought up to speed.
That is literally as good as any plan I've ever heard Tony say. Maybe even better.
You're my new favorite person, Steve.
So yes, Bobbi and I have a commitment that if neither of us are married by the time I'm 50, I think, right? Because I'm older.
No, wait, no, me, because I'm younger.
Fine, I'll give you a few years chance to, find.
I mean, it's
somebody.
only 7.
I will just say this. If I were Tony, I would have been at Bobby's house with a dozen roses and making my move a long time ago. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? Tony does Uber me food, though.
Oh, that's cool.
How do you do the little heart?
That's cool.
Tiny heart. You
text
still
if
can't
I'm
do the tiny heart,
hungry.
can you?
Oh, yeah.
Look.
Eat it.
Okay, tiny heart.
He does Uber me food, though, which I still have some. So
And snacks, yeah.
Almost out, but.
So again, Bobbi and I are just shattering all those stereotypes, knocking down the walls that a single guy and a single girl can be friends without.
Can be naked together and nothing happens.
Oh yeah, we've been in hotels just in our birthday suits, nothing happened.
That's
not having an affair.
Sweet.
Okay, but back to the weight loss. Okay, so the reason I'm doing keto,
like you're doing it now.
Well, I have been for years, but I'm doing it for
except
medical
for today.
reason. Except for Tony.
Keep going.
I am never going to be invited on here again. Okay, so the reason I'm doing keto, and it's a very lazy keto. It's not strict keto. It's just because I have a medical reason I'm doing it. And I can either take $30,000 worth of steroids every month so I can breathe and move, or I can control it with my diet and not be sick all the time. So that's why I'm doing keto. I don't typically recommend other people to do keto.
Really?
Yeah. Because it is something that's very time consuming.
Right.
You have to weigh everything. You have to know exactly what is in everything. It's very to be very precise. Like it is a very difficult thing to do.
I got a buddy.
I just eat the same things though. So
I got a buddy who's done it and he loves cooking. And so it kind of, feeds into something he already really enjoys.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Is he single?
No. I mean,
he's asking for Bobbi because I know she was wondering.
Oh, no. He's got divorced.
I just eat a lot of eggs. A lot of boring stuff. Like I don't really eat to enjoy food, and which is ridiculous because I actually really do love food.
I'm the same exact way. I'm not a foodie. Food is a means to an end. I mean, I was going to ask you guys, that's what I forgot. I was going to ask both of you if you guys had sensitive palates.
I mean, there are foods I don't like.
Sure. But I mean, can you eat gutter food?
I don't know what that means.
The other day when I was talking to you guys on the phone, I was eating raw chicken because I wasn't paying attention what I was doing.
Raw chicken?
You remember
That's
when
really
I was talking
bad
to
for
you
you.
FaceTiming and I was just eating it and I didn't realize it was raw. Anyways,
Wow.
I hardly ever pay attention to what I'm eating. But the one thing I can't eat is mushrooms. It's just too slimy down my throat.
No, I get that people are going to have things. I have things too, but I remember only one time in my life where I took a bite of something and I was just spit it out. I was like, oh, that's the most foul thing I've ever had. It was a truck stop sandwich that was the cheapest one they had because I only had so much money, and it was just disgusting, right? But normally, okay, the reason I started thinking about it was today. Okay. I couldn't leave work today. I was super busy. I was getting super hungry, but I couldn't leave and go get food. So I'm searching for food in my office, and all I found was this can of mixed vegetables and tuna. I put them together, threw them in the microwave, and ate it.
Why would you microwave it?
Just heat it up.
See, I wouldn't have heated it up. I would have added some mustard and I'd have an amazing meal.
Well, I liked it a little bit hot.
That's
What? What's wrong with that?
Who
Why are you
eats
making
tuna?
Who eats tuna? What?
Who eats tuna. Like
heats
I've
it?
never heard of anybody heating up tuna.
I had to heat up the vegetables and I just threw the tuna on top of there and
My
just mixed
dad
it all
used
up.
to make a tuna dish, like a casserole that he would heat up. But I
I'm
think
just saying, I think there's a lot of people I know who would look at that and be like, that's disgusting. I'm not talking about like children, I'm talking about grown adults. So that's disgusting. I'm not going to eat that. So I just started thinking about what is the most disgusting thing that I would eat if I was hungry?
well, I don't eat
I eat a lot
hot
of weird
dogs or
things.
bologna.
Oh, Bobby turned me off of hot dogs by sending me some nasty video that almost made me puke.
Now I watched
welcome.
a movie, a documentary on the food industry,
Oh, it's horrible.
and I did not eat. I ate as a vegan for a year. It just like that movie. It just
Yeah.
And if I think about it, I kind of almost want to get like I can't drink milk.
Really?
Well, because
I don't drink milk either.
the cow pus and things that gets in the milk. I
Yeah.
just feel like that's what I'm drinking.
Well, why'd you? Now I got to think about it. Oh.
No,
Yeah, there you
no,
go.
I would drink breast milk, but I can't.
I
drink
would
cow
too
milk.
drink breast milk if
I have
somebody
to
wanted me to come
inspect-
over and
I have to
straight from
inspect the
tap.
source first.
I mean, if it was
Right,
from me, everybody I knew would be drinking it. But
Wow.
I mean, no. So I drink almond milk because I just can't do cow milk. I
Yeah,
tried
because some
sugar
rat didn't fall into the vat at the factory.
I tried sugar-free almond milk, and what I discovered is if you put in a couple of tablespoons of sugar, it tastes just fine.
Oh my gosh.
let's see if I can.
I just couldn't do it. It was
Yeah. Well, you guys,
Have you ever? Can you see
appreciate.
this?
Oh,
Can you see this, Steve?
trivia. Yes.
Okay, this you can actually get, and it won't mess up your glucose. It won't give you that sugar high and low. It's made out of stevia, and it's vanilla flavored, and you can put it in your almond milk.
Oh, put it in almond milk.
Yep, I use it when I make pancakes, and it's so good. But it doesn't spike your sugar, your glucose index, because it's made from stevia. It's really good.
cool.
All right. So we took some measurements. Again, mine are off limits. It's just embarrassing. It's a big number.
Yeah, but you're
They're big
sharing that with
numbers.
Bobby.
What?
You're sharing that with Bobby, right?
Well, Bobby, I don't understand. She told me I needed to do my measurements nude and she needed pictures of each one. I didn't know. Anyway, so Bobby looked at those, and now how often, Bobby, should we be remeasuring ourselves?
Yeah. How often should he be sending naked pictures of himself to you?
Well, naked pictures, we could do that weekly. Measurements monthly.
That seems like a long time to go without. Because typically I weigh every day.
I don't weigh myself. I had to throw my scale out. It was driving me crazy. So I weigh 145 pounds, and according to my doctor, I'm overweight. I'm almost obese, according to my height and my weight.
Bottom end, though.
I know, she just doesn't see it when she's weighing me. Literally, it's all in my bottom. So I don't do anything with weight. I think it's dumb. I think it's one of those really stupid, dumb things that the CDC created to make people go on medication. So
wow, getting some conspiracy theories going here.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Well,
yeah.
To me, measurements are more important. Like I have this one pair of jeans that I will try on every 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm like, oh, they're good, or like,
Your magic
what am I doing
jeans,
wrong?
that's
Like,
what you go by.
That's exactly what I go by because I'm so bottom heavy. Because when I gain weight, I gain at my butt.
Well, I think Steve and I can relate to that as far as like maybe suit jackets, like church suit. Yeah,
exactly. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I can't fit any of my church suits right now. Church suits.
Well, there you go. Hopefully in 4 weeks you can fit into one of them. But I think the scale is just ridiculous. It doesn't give you any accurate information anyways. It's
okay.
I mean,
so you're gonna measure me tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna see you Saturday.
Or Saturday.
What is tomorrow's Friday.
Bring Paisley.
So,
Okay, I'll
so
bring
this
paper.
next week, Bobbi, the plan is to kind of pay attention to what we're eating. And I probably will begin to experiment with some intermittent fasting to see what kind of schedule works best for me.
Right
And
now,
then,
just can I share what I do right now?
like
Yeah,
for
go
what?
ahead.
So, I mean, I'd probably be heavier if I wasn't doing this, but for breakfast and lunch, I eat these Pro Bar meals. I love Pro Bar. It's a meal replacement bar. It's 390 calories. It's all nuts. It's just nuts and like maybe some dates, and it's awesome. And then I have a protein shake and drink lots of water. So I do that for both meals. And then where I always screw up is my dinner. And then sometimes I'll come home and I'm bored and I just I just eat.
See, for me, lunch is my key. If I have a good, solid lunch, I don't really eat bad. I'm pretty satiated the rest of the day. But if I don't eat a good lunch, historically what happens is that I get into the evening hours and it feels like well, actually kind of what you were talking about, like hungry and it can't be satiated.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
So
this is
I
$20
think
word.
Sorry, go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say, Tony, I think your issue might be you might not be getting enough fat because what you're
He's
eating,
fat.
there's not a lot of fat.
What'd
There's
you
not
say,
a lot
Steve?
of fat in it.
Said you're fat.
No, because fat is what's going to make you feel satisfied. So like I will eat,
That's right.
and I don't recommend you
So
guys
I
doing
should just
this,
eat
but
gristle?
if I feel, I
Should I
mean,
just-
yeah, I do like that part the same, but I will eat, like, I'll just go and eat some butter. Like if
Ugh.
I'm feeling like crazy, like I need to eat, it's because I haven't had enough fat, because fat is what is going to help keep you full. And it's also really good for your nerves. It's a myelin sheath. It's all like fat based. So
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
that makes
times
sense.
you don't have the good fat. And so you need more good fat. So like maybe even
I have
adding
a lot
some
of bad
almond
fat
butter.
right now.
What?
I have a lot of bad fat right now.
Well, like a hard-boiled egg has good fat and protein. That would be a good thing to just eat.
Oh, I love
Or
hard-boiled
put
eggs.
some almond butter on one of your Pro Bars that has no sugar in it. That would be good fat.
Gotcha.
So this week's assignment is just pay attention to what you're eating. Just little things, like even just adding this instead of sugar will help, or just adding a little bit of more fat.
Okay.
But you just got to see what you're eating.
Okay, we'll
And
see
water.
what Steve, I'll recommend a great app that I've used in the past, unless you already have one. I
Go
can't
ahead.
remember it right now, but I'll research it and I'll send it to you.
Very good. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
And then we
Okay,
all
well-
need to download Bobbi's apps that tell her what mood she's going to be in that day. She's going to have a headache or not, because she has these apps that will
Why
just
are
tell
you
her.
telling my secrets?
And
I literally,
also,
I do have that app.
I just
do.
think it's when I was first getting know Bobbi, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to have a headache today." I'm like, "Oh, why?" Because this. She's like, "No, because the app told me." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So, anyways, thank you everybody for participating. I really appreciate everyone who's joined the Two Fat Dad podcast Facebook page, which has been overwhelming. We're up to 97 members already. I can do a little refresh. Still 97. Anyways,
and Lonely Guy with a Book podcast.
no one cares.
Everyone is my highest rated downloaded podcast is with the review of Stephen King's Carrie.
Oh, Carrie, you can do other
Can
Stephen
I
King
recommend
stuff?
a book?
I'm actually, hold on one second. Absolutely. But I'm going to go through all the Stephen King library.
Steve, how do you feel about horror?
How do I feel about what?
Horror movies, horror books.
Oh, horror. Oh,
Yeah.
I like horror a lot.
Oh, how do you feel about whores?
Horrors. That would be more like if I was not a member and I wasn't married,
You do
that
reviews.
might be more appealing. But for
You
this
probably do
point, it's
reviews of different whores and where they reside.
I don't have any access to it, and I wouldn't.
What would be your rating scale of different street whores?
Cleanliness.
Well, I still
would be
feel
on
like
the
I'd
top.
use the star rating.
Star rating. Rotten Tomatoes.
Bobbi, tell me a book.
Okay, so it's called Tools for the Titans, and it's
Tools
by
for the
Tim
Titans?
Ferriss. Yes.
Oh no, I know Tim
so
for a
it's
4-hour work week.
yeah. So he has this book. It's like this big, but it's not a book that you read through. You just like read a chapter. So what it is, it has all these titans, like all these people who have went through their life and they have like crushed something. They really got something narrowed down, right?
Mhm.
It has a little chapter on each of them and their secrets. And that's like my favorite book because anything you want to know about or how to figure out how to do or enhance in your life, there's a chapter on it.
Okay.
I think you really would like it. So,
Well, that's amazing.
that's
Thank
my
you so much.
recommendation.
As always, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And whatever Steve promotes about, I don't know, like a Stitcher. I don't know what to say on the different podcast ones, if they have to like, subscribe, or what they do on those.
I don't know. I do know that it updates how many downloads we have.
Okay.
So, but I think that's just really more about making ourselves accessible.
Okay. And I can't figure out how to make you an admin right now on the Two Fat Dad podcast Facebook page, but you're welcome. I'm going to figure it out, and then you can post everything about the
and then I will rule with an iron anyway.
Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you, Bobbi.
Thanks, Bobbi. I appreciate it.
Very much appreciate it.
Fun.
And we'll see you guys later. Peace
Take care.
out.
All right. Bye.
Bye.